welcome to another super exciting edition of Beautiful Outstanding Ladies with Disabilities TV, Bold TV as we fondly love to call it, brought to you by Bold Heart Initiative, where the ladies with disabilities come together to discuss issues around gender, disability, and sustainable development, especially as it concerns women and girls with disabilities. And we do this every Saturday for all-round growth and development of the feminine gender. Welcome once again to Bold TV. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for the support. And we also would like to use this opportunity to continue to call for your support financially, morally, physically, and otherwise to ensure that Bold TV stays on your airwaves every Saturday. 10:30 a.m. is the time. Welcome one, welcome all to today's edition. Due to technical issues, you may not be able to see the other ladies together. Usually we have these conversations on issues that affect women and girls with disabilities. But today, like I said, due to technical issues, you would not be having them. But we will still kind of go ahead with the topic at hand. We want to create awareness about sexual and gender-based violence, especially amongst women and girls with disabilities, especially women with disabilities in intimate partner relationship, maybe dating, cohabiting, married. We just want you to understand that, it is real when we talk about sexual and gender-based violence. It is very real among women with disabilities. And you shall be listening to some survival stories. Women who have been there, who have done one thing or the other to pull through what they did, how they went about it, what is going on with them right now, and possible solutions that you out there as a woman with a disability or a woman without a disability can also take in order to come out of that situation, especially if it is similar to what we have at hand today. So you would be watching a documentary, and that will be coming up very shortly. But before I allow that to come up, let me introduce myself to you. On behalf of other ladies on Bold TV, I am Oluwatomisin Adeyefa, based in Abeokuta, Ogun State. I'm a visually impaired person, a broadcast journalist, a sound engineer, a gender and disability rights advocate, and I'm also passionate and I campaign for sexual and reproductive health, especially amongst women with disabilities. Today's package would sure give you a whole lot of information, education, and everything in between. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the documentary. The documentary title is Prevalence of Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Among Women with Disabilities. Thank you and enjoy.
My family insisted that they cannot allow me to date a Christian guy, and that was the person I love most. So because of the family pressure, I decided to go out with this person that beats me with an acid. But it's not easy for me to let the first guy go. He decided that if he cannot have me, that he would rather destroy my beauty. That if he destroy my beauty, nobody will have me, nobody will marry me, and which he did.
In Nigeria, women with disabilities are not just grappling with negative social stereotypes, discrimination, and stigma. Similar to their counterparts without disabilities, these women also experience grim episodes of sexual and gender-based violence that never got mentioned in news and courtrooms. According to the United Nations, 1 in every 3 women in their lifetime has had an experience relating to sexual and gender-based violence. For women with disabilities who are further down the ladder of importance, They are 10 times susceptible to various forms of abuse and violation, primarily because of their gender and deepened on the basis of their disability. As it is found in the larger society, women with disabilities also embrace the silence culture for the fear of being stigmatized, abandoned, rejected, or losing favors from abuser. Investigation reveals that cases of sexual and gender-based violence reported by women with disabilities have close persons as perpetrators, such as family members, spouses, friends, and caregivers, making it more difficult for victims to speak out against abuse. Another factor debarring justice for these women is inaccessibility to information, knowing what to do, where to go, and how to get help. Even when the media are employed to raise awareness and campaign against SGBV, how inclusive are these messages for persons with disabilities? Latifat Adeleye never got justice despite an acid bath from a jealous lover that ultimately led to a total blindness in 2011.
My name is Latifat Adeleye. I wasn't born blind. I was sighted before. What led to my blindness? Someone beat me with an acid because of jealousness. Actually, we were dating, and before him I have someone I'm going out with, but because I'm a very devoted Muslim, and the other person that I'm going out with, the first person I'm going out with was a Christian, and my family insisted that they cannot allow me to date a Christian guy, and that was the person I love most. So because of the family pressure, I decided to go out with this person that beat me with an acid. But it's not easy for me to let the first guy go. So he decided that if he cannot have me, that he would rather destroy my beauty. That if he destroy my beauty, nobody will have me, nobody will marry me. And which he did. He destroyed my beauty. On this very fateful day that he beat me with an acid, I was on my way going to mosque. That was 30th of December year 2011, around 6 a.m. I was almost at the mosque. Then I felt something cold on my face. I thought it was ice water. I was like, who is playing with me with ice water in this early morning? After I rubbed my face, I was just hearing a footstep running, maybe at my back or my front. I cannot say. I started shouting for help. Nobody. I did not see anybody. I tried my way and turned back to our house. And the mosque and our house are in the same street. So when I was going, on my way going home, I fell down, and two women came to my rescue and took me to our house. People were coming out there, pouring me honey, red oil, water, and so on. Before someone now suggested that they should go to the spot and go and check my clothes because I put on wrapper and my hijab, which I've thrown away. So they went to go and pick it, and they saw the armless stainless cup with acid. That was when they got to know that it was an acid that the person poured on my face, and I was taken to the hospital. The first general hospital that I was taken to was Ile-Epo General Hospital. Before they refer me to Lasut Ikeja General Hospital. I was taken to the hospital that very day, and they did not allow reporter or police to come and see the situation. They were just treating me as what they are giving me, wasn't the first aid that they're supposed to give me. Then they said they will operate me, but they did not before I was discharged. When I was discharged, I was taken to our family house. From there, my sister introduced a reporter to me. They came, and after taking my report, the case was the guy was arrested later, so maybe after 2 or 3 months after he poured me an acid because he ran away. He said he drank ipo. He started shouting. His house neighbor came out and took him to the hospital. From the hospital, he ran away. They went to go arrested his senior sister. When his senior sister was arrested, it was then they now go and bring him to the police station. Then the police station too was at Oyilepo. They said they don't used to treat that kind of a case there, that they would not torture him. The guy was taken to the to Panti and he wrote a statement. He confessed, and one of his senior brother came to our house. I was not around then. I was on treatment. So one of his brother came around. They want us to settle the case amicably. After then, they did not come again. And we cannot be looking for them because they were the one that they were the one that need to be looking for us, not we. So when the case was taken to the court, and when they showed him his statement, he said he wrote it. When he got through, he said yes, the statement was written by him, but he wrote it under duress. After years later, we used to go to court. At the end of the case, he was discharged. They released him. Then after I couldn't get myself. I felt very bad for that day, and because the acid affected, it touched some part of my body, like my breast and my arm. So I was like, so this boy said I will not see anybody that will marry me, and he truly destroyed me. If you see my former picture, this is my former picture. This is before. I look at now. Look at me now. But I thank God that God is at my back. Now I'm married and I have a kid.
When asked if she would love to reopen the case in court, seeking the face of justice, Latifat, with so much disbelief in the nation's justice system, rather prefers to move on with her life, especially now that she has got a family of her own.
From beating, one of my teeth removed. I also miscarried 3 times because of beating.
After enduring bouts of spousal abuse from her equally hearing impaired husband, Yemisi Isado finally got the courage to walk away in 2020.
My name is Yemisi Isado. I married my husband almost 22 years now. We have a child, but every time there is always fight out of jealousy. So whatever I did, whether to talk to a man, it's always complain. He will beat me. He doesn't want me to talk with any man, even neighbors. It's an abomination to him. Every time he always suspects me. From beating, one of my teeth removed. I also miscarried 3 times because of beating. If at the hospital, doctor knows us for fighting every time. I was always lying down on the hospital bed. Not until last year, April, he suspected me, saying my daughter was at home that time during lockdown. I don't know what came over him out of jealousy. Just unnecessary story. There's sex, and he started beating me. Serious one. I got serious beating in the presence of my daughter. She was ready to kill herself. When my daughter saw that the problem is too much, and I don't want somebody to kill me, it's better we separate. Luckily, my daughter called the police. At first tag, they came to help us. That is how they packed us to the police station. They asked us what I want. I told them I need peace of mind. I have BP because of this problem. My heart is always beating fast. My blood pressure is always high. And the police wrote the report that I should move out. The family knew about it and I moved out with my daughter from jail. He never think about his daughter. And I'm the only one responsible for her. Now, thank God, the girl is out. She has graduated from the university. You should always think about the child, and not me. You should think about the child. One time, a lady asked for money. She said no. I'm the only one responsible for her upgrade. Reason why I stayed long, especially because of my late mom. She did not want me to divorce. Whatever she sees, she will tell me with time it will stop. It will stop. With time it will stop. Yeah, leave. I will also sit and think, if I leave him, many people will mock me. They will mock me because of shame that I leave my husband married. It's better for me to continue.
Out of the marriage by mutual separation orchestrated by the police. Now, Yemisi focuses on her passion for fish farming as well as advocating for the rights and empowerment of women with hearing impairment in Lagos State.
My husband did not work. He just stayed at home for 4 years. Only me. I always complain, but he always punish me, beat me. I told him to please assist the little way he can in taking care of the house. He said no.
34-year-old Abimbola Binutu, fleeing for her dear life during a fight with her twin's father, resulted in her having access to her children once in a while.
My name is Abimbola Binutu. I became pregnant 2014 and I moved to my mother-in-law's house. We stayed there in the same roof. With pregnancy I walked. He did not do anything to care for me or to take me to the hospital. He never cared for me and the pregnancy. It was very bitter for me. Bitter experience. I have baby twins. I was still working, taking care of them, washing clothes with the mark operation, the CS operation mark. My husband did not work. He just stayed at home for 4 years. Only me. I always complain, but he always punish me, beat me. I told him to please assist the little way he can in taking care of the house. He said no. I told my mother-in-law, please let him assist me at home. My mother-in-law said no. Shebi, I have given you money and you are living in the house. My son cannot assist you. You are a woman. I tried to do what I can do. My husband borrowed my phone. He saw the torchlight. He turned on the torchlight. He then started reading my messages on phone. He came back and was angry. Who is this man? I told him that this man was a teacher. And he said I'm lying. Argument starts and he started beating me. I ran to my friend and slept over till I came back in the morning. I saw that he was not there. He has locked the place. I searched. I went to my mother-in-law's room. I went there to see. My mother-in-law changed her behavior. Told me that please pack out and leave the children. I decided to pack my things and she started pushing me. She was pushing me. My mother-in-law with 3 other people, they were trying to push me out. In the process of struggling to defend myself, I hit her. I hit my mother-in-law. She started crying, running around, calling family, lying that I slapped her. And to beg her, they told me to buy goats and kola nuts. I ran to my Please, I called my father to come and solve this matter. My father came, called on phone. They told him to come. Before he came, my mother-in-law has called different people. Only my father came and saw many people that we fight, that this I'm wrong, my behavior black. My father asked, did you slap your mother? I told him no. No, I did not slap my mother-in-law. I tried to explain. They did not listen. My children are sick. Why not tell me that my son is sick? I want to go and visit. I asked, where are my children? Where are they living? Give me the address. She said they are in Abuja, but somebody gave me the address. I now traced them. They are in Lagos. I asked her why. She said, please. When my children saw me, they were so happy. Mother, they want to go with me. They want to go with me. My mother-in-law said, no, stay. So they always come to me for holiday. I care for them and take them back. They stay with me for holiday. My children want to stay with me. My mother-in-law said no. Government should support me to take my children back for me.
With so much anguish and longing for her children, Abimbola admitted to not taking a step at the moment towards obtaining full custody of her twins because she doesn't know where to go for the much needed help.
But immediately I had his first child for him, everything changed. He started to see the son I had in my previous home as a rival. He began to call them bastards and all that. Whenever they offended him, he called them bastards and beat them anyhow. So we went on. Then at any slightest mistake, he used to beat me. He beat me to an extent one day that I broke a tooth.
Ashabi also got a bitter dose of sexual and gender-based violence. Just recovering from a toxic marriage, she soon fell into the hands of another abusive lover who not only violated her, but also traumatized her children from the previous marriage.
My name is Ashabi. I am a visually impaired. When I met my former husband, I was coming from an abusive home, so where I had 3 children. So when I left the place, I had determined that I wouldn't have anything to do with any man. But when I met this man, being an elderly person, he convinced me that I needed not to stay alone, and that I needed someone to help me, look after my children. So I decided to go with him. So initially we were okay. He did well. He pampered me. He never used to get angry and all that. But immediately I had his first child for him, everything changed. He started to see the son I had in my previous home as a rival. He began to call them bastards and all that. Whenever they offended him, he called them bastards and beat them anyhow. So we went on. Then at any slightest mistake, he used to beat me. He beat me to an extent one day that I broke a tooth. So till now, the tooth is still shaking. I did not remove it. They asked me to remove it. I said no, because it's a front tooth. So, and when it was getting too much, I confronted him, because there was a day we were fighting and he was looking for, there was a box, it had an iron rod, and he said he was looking for that rod, that he wanted to use it to break my head. So, but I did not wait. Before we settled, I threatened him that if you don't stop beating me, after today, the next time you beat me, I'll take your case to the state government. So he stopped, but he did not stop abusing me verbally, And then, when I was with him, I was responsible for the upkeep of the house. I was responsible for the children's feeding, their school fees, clothing, including himself. I was responsible for his welfare. So, whenever I called him and said, well, this situation, I don't know, what are we doing about it? He would tell me, pray now, it's you. Whenever you want things to change, things will definitely change. So I used to see myself as, what kind of a thing is this? So he used to tell me, there was a time we quarreled and he told me that I should carry my 2 left legs out of his house. It was when I came into his home that his things started getting destroyed. That day I wept, and I wept because I did not have the money to move, because I was really tired of the whole thing. So I felt bad, and people told me again that if you leave his house, who will take care of you? Who will look after your children? And me too, I started thinking, but this thing is true. If I leave his house now, I'll start paying rent, I'll start buying the children's clothes and everything. And these were things I was doing even while I was in his house. You know, there was a day he sent my son out of the house. He told me, he said because the boy did not sweep, and I was the one that sent him on errand. And we told him I sent him on errand, but he still beat the boy and sent him out of the house from 7 o'clock in the morning. When it was getting to around 6 in the evening, I called one of my brothers, and that was where the boy slept till the following day. So my brother brought the boy home and he settled everything for us. What made me left his house was that his daughter, because he has children with another woman before I met him, and my daughter, that's the one I brought from another home too, they quarreled, and instead of him to settle it for them, he told the girl that he said my daughter was trying to dictate to his daughter in her own house, in her own father's house. So I now thought of it, that what kind of implication will this have on this girl? Are you trying to tell her that this is not her father's house? So I told her that, okay, I needed to protect the interest of the children. If it were to be only me, I would have stayed and continued to receive the abuse. But the children, no, because I care so much about their future. I took all of them. I rented an apartment. Until today, we are there and we are living fine. I'm still continuing with my responsibilities. Then whenever he had any money, he spent it on cars. Yeah, and he would lie that someone gave him the car and all that. Meanwhile, we were hungry in the home. But today, though it's not there for us, but we are happy and we don't have any problem.
Pushed but not crushed, Ashabi has made a decision to live for herself and her children. At the time of gathering this report, Ashabi has commenced steps in making her baby fathers responsible for the upkeep of their kids. A visit to the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team shows that Latifat, Yemisi, Abimbola and Ashabi are not the only ones experiencing sexual and gender-based violence as a result of their diverse in disabilities. 11 of such unpleasant cases have been formally reported between January and October 2021 alone, according to Barrister Titilola Vaivo Adeniyi, the coordinator of the DSVRT office in Lagos State.
If we look at the data, we started keeping data of persons, we started keeping that data this year. And this year we've been privileged to attend to 11 survivors of domestic and sexual violence. And these are persons that are experiencing one form of disability or the other. Either they are physically challenged or they have an auditory or visual impairment. We are very privileged to be situated in the Secretariat and we are close to LASODA. So when we have LASODA, that's Lagos State Office of Disability Affairs. And so once we have any case that requires that intervention and support, or we need the support of a sign language interpreter, we quickly rush to LASODA to get on. It was, out of the 11, we have 9 female, 2 male.
So this is to say that it's also prevalent in women with disabilities than in men with disabilities.
Based on the reports we have.
Although Vaivo Adeniyi reveals that the law is no respecter of anyone found to have perpetrated the crimes of sexual and gender-based violence.
So if we look at the criminal law is the law that regulates criminal conduct in Lagos State. That law is not a respecter of your status, your age, not your age, your class or your gender. So it's very clear. Any person who commits this is guilty of the offense of that. So it's very, very clear. It's not the fact that you're a person with disability does not mean you will get off the hook if you perpetrate this offense.
However, accessing the systems in place towards achieving the desired justice by these women still calls for concern. Barrister Titilola Vaivo Adeniyi further admits that so much more could be done in creating accessible and inclusive mechanisms where women with disabilities, like other females without disabilities, can freely and conveniently report cases of sexual and gender-based violence, get the necessary support towards achieving justice, equity, and fairness. Here, we charge the Lagos State government to consider its teeming population of persons with disabilities as it reviews the state's over 14-year-old domestic violence law, ensuring that the law provides for the peculiar needs of this community, while also equipping and empowering its existing agencies to providing inclusive services where no one is left behind as part of efforts in creating safe spaces. Wow, wow, wow. Those are really touching stories, if you ask me. You heard right there from the story of our first respondent on that documentary, where she talked about how she went through gender-based violence, even which led to her becoming a person with visual impairment, a woman with a disability. And that's to tell you that sexual and gender-based violence does not only happen to persons with disabilities, but can also make you a person with disability if not properly managed from the beginning. And you also heard the story of Yemisi Isado. After being married for that long, enduring bouts of spousal abuse, even in the presence of their child, she finally got the courage to do what? To walk out. And now you hear that she's also an advocate for these things, helping other women to realize that they still have a long way to go and should not remain in a violent relationship. You also heard the story of Abimbola. It's really a whole lot. And there was Ashabi as well. Ashabi telling us of how she left a violent relationship and jumped into another violent relationship that not only violated her as a woman with disability, but also affected our children. And that's to tell us, as women with disabilities, that not only us suffer when we, remain in such abusive relationships, our kids, our families, our friends, our career, our passion, everything about and around us also suffer. And then again, you heard the voice of the coordinator of the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team, Mrs. Vivo Adeni, where she talked about what the agency is doing to curb and to also apprehend violators, abusers, and also get justice for the victim, the survivor, how they've been helping. And then she talks about how you could always walk into their office, especially that one in Lagos, Alaosa Ikeja. It is opposite the Ministry of Justice, and you can ask from anybody. So if you have reports to make, you can also make anonymous calls to ensure that your own cases of sexual and gender-based violence is being treated with utmost confidentiality. And it was a whole lot right there on that piece, and we hope right here on Bold TV that every bold heart out there has learned one thing or the other. We hope that if you're out there, you're going through this, and you're able to come out in one piece, you can find help. You can also reach out to us on Bold TV if you need help, if you need someone to talk to, someone to help you pull through out of that situation. We are here for you, and we would really love the feedback. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Despite our technical issues, we were still able to bring the program to you, and amazingly so, if you ask me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting on all our videos. Please do well to share this as well. Like and give your comment, and you can do that via Facebook channel Bold TV or on YouTube Bold TV. Thank you so much once again. I remain Oluwatomisin Adeyefa from Abeokuta in Ogun State, and this episode has been brought to you by the beautiful hands of Freki Essien. She's done wonders on the production of this. Thank you so much, sister, for always being there. Not forgetting all our sponsors, our partners, our viewers. We just want to thank you for being there. Brought to you by Bold Heart Initiative. We promise to return next week with another interesting edition of Bold TV on Saturday, 10:30 a.m. as always. Thank you and have a good week ahead.